Good morning and welcome to episode 1402 of Hard Factor. It is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Everything you need to know in 40 minutes-ish or less. But if you need more, go to patreon.com/hardfactor. Today, we're talking geriatric bank robbers, shrooms, making the world a way better place, why Joe Biden may owe his presidency to Abe Lincoln, a lotto screw job, and maybe even more than that. Stacked lineup. So,
whoa,
how you guys doing?
Pretty good. Better after that, hearing all that.
Yeah.
Great intro. Strong intro.
Oh,
yeah, good, great intro.
Appreciate it, guys.
That's a good one.
And that's the show.
Where are you, Wes?
I'm in a La Quinta in Fort Worth, Texas.
Ooh.
To the La Quinta we went, laying them hoes down on the freestyle tip. Yeah.
Nice.
That? You?
That's Cast. That's the Outcast.
Outcast.
Oh. Did you bring
Outcast keeps it real.
Did I what?
You bring a
They
dog?
No.
Because you can at La
Solo.
Quinta.
I know. She asked me if I had any dogs, and I said no. And she was like, "Just you?" And I was like, "Am I supposed to have a dog?"
That's why you don't
She's
want to
like-
stay there.
Yeah.
How many people do you think?
I'm
fuck
a
dogs
Wyndham Rewards member, Pat, so I have to stay at a Wyndham Reward.
Mark, probably more than you think. I've stayed
Yeah.
at La Quintas in Texas where the dogs were a problem. Yeah.
How many Penn State professors are blowing off steam in the La Quintas?
It's a popular for blowing off steam. Yeah.
Even Outcast knows about that. All right. This Friday, trivia. This Friday, February 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Send in the car and Golden Elbow tiers at patreon.com/hardfactor can try to beat the hosts in trivia. Good luck. Best of luck.
Yeah. No fat chance.
Yeah.
No, you're going to win. But it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Gavin, I still have the dog. She's amazing. I love her to death. Thank you for checking in.
Live internet
Love
comment from Gavin.
You love her a little too much?
Live internet comment.
No,
from
she's
Gavin.
tiny. That's gross. That's gross. Anyways, Pat, let's start the show. Pat, I have a criminal wreaking havoc in Chicago. What else is new? Am I right?
Dude, big time. What else is new? The Citizen app. If you haven't gotten it, it will really ruin your day if you're in a major city, specifically Chicago. The headlines get more and more ridiculous as the days goes on. The last one I loved was man in leopard print bodysuit urinating on another man.
Wow.
Ooh.
You just have an anxiety app. Your next door app is just pure anxiety.
Yeah, well, it was originally called Vigilante, Will, but they changed the name to Citizen.
That's the worst app Pat's downloaded since the Rhythm Method app that didn't work
It's
for.
just crime near you is what it is. That's the
Yeah.
crime near you app.
Alerts about crime near you.
Yeah. And they direct it at you. The algorithm works like, and it's this many feet from Pat Cassidy.
They kind of do. I mean, they literally do, Mark. Have you been on the Citizen app? They tell you how far it is from you.
Yeah, it's like
They're getting
they pull
close,
a
Pat.
Alert.
I'm going to check it right now as you continue. Tell us about what's going on.
Criminal wreaking havoc in Chicago. Why is that news, Mark? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it's not a criminal or crime you might expect from this fellow. The Leaping Bandit was caught again this week after robbing his 7th bank in the past 10 months on Valentine's Day. And the Leaping Bandit, the Leaping Bandit is 83-year-old Donald Bennett, who had previously served 30 years in jail for guess what?
Robert Banks.
Robin Banks.
Robin Banks.
Nice.
There's a profile picture of him. He kind of looks like Joe Biden from the side, from far away, right?
A little bit.
Kind of. Well, every 83-year-old man kind of does.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. Every in shape
Looks like a
white 83-year-old man with white hair does. Yes. Yeah.
Nice to meet you,
dude.
Banks. Robin Banks.
Yeah, exactly.
Strong man.
Here's Pat's local CBS News team to talk about what this spring chicken did.
Name is Donald Bennett. He's 83 years old and is known as the Leaping Bandit for heists, including 5 bank robberies in 1987 in the Chicago area. He was released in April 2020 after serving 31 years in prison.
Bank robbery was one of the first crimes that the FBI became involved in.
Arthur Lorigio is a professor of criminology and psychology at Loyola University.
Probably feeling a sense of practice,
Was that
competency. He took a long hiatus, but he's going back to what he's familiar doing.
Mark?
He's developed some
A lot like
sense
Mark.
of bravado and still has it burning inside at age 83 with a younger but still elderly accomplice.
These are the sub.
Boy, that Arthur loves analyzing crime, doesn't he? He's a real lightning rod.
Oh man, tell you what, if Mark was dyeing his hair brown 10 years from now, 15 years from now,
Yeah.
Dude, give that news team director the Emmy now. This clip needs more Arthur.
that's your kin, Mark. That's your kin.
It's actually the oldest crime that the FBI has analyzed. It probably gets me the wettest of all the crimes.
Mark, you should show up to Loyola. We could get his class schedule.
We can kidnap
That's
him.
him.
Send Mark in as the
Yes,
professor.
they're Luigio. The
Ready to talk bank robberies again?
I gotta give big ups to the Leaping Bandit though for his disguises. Now you can tell Mark only put up still photos, but you could tell with his gait from the still photos he's 83, but his disguises make him look like he's in his late 30s, early 40s.
Dude, he looked like he was 28 in one of those with the full beard, and he had like the whole thing on. It was nice.
The one he looked like me and Arthur Bennett. Like he was framing Arthur or
Yeah.
Arthur Lugerio. He was framing this guy who talks about him at Loyola.
This one's for Mr. Luigio.
Well, they got old Bennett again, and if they let him out in 30 years, guess what he's going to do in his hundreds?
Yeah.
Rob some fucking
He's gonna rob
banks.
some fucking banks, bro.
Yeah, I love that he met his accomplice in jail. It's got like a little kind of Count of Monte Cristo vibe to it. It's kind of cool because you're supposed to rehabilitate in jail, not gas yourself up to team up and get even better at crime.
You
But
always
it
need
gives
one
you the
last
opportunity.
score.
Yeah. Anyways,
If those movies have taught us anything with the old guys in heist movies, they're always looking for one last score.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all know we have a
what are they drawing on that blueprint?
we have a broken prison system. You get out and you're the Leaping Bandit. You don't have a lot of options except for which to go back to bank robbing. Am I right? Like, what else are you gonna do?
At 83? Yeah, no, bank robbings. I mean, like,
That's
what
why
are they going
Brooks
to take?
killed
you?
himself.
Right. Exactly. That's all you know how to do. Bennett just kept getting, instead of like at letters, he kept getting like the architecture style, like what you got a poster in and ship to him of like buildings. Like, here you go,
yeah.
Mr. Bennett. Yeah.
I think he taunts him. Yeah.
Yeah. His accomplice is 55-year-old Edward Bernert, who has a very similar last name to Donald Bennett. Bennett and Bernert. So maybe that's what they bonded over, or it could have been the pure love and adrenaline pump from Robin Banks.
Yeah.
Robin Banks. How old was his accomplice? Did it say?
55. They kept being like, he had a much younger accomplice, 55-year-old Edward Burnett.
I mean, if I'm Edward whatever, I'm absolutely having Bennett do the dirty work here because it's like, look, man, you got nothing left to gain here. I got 30 good years left. You're on the wrong side of 80.
Well, he did. I think he might have been the getaway driver for most of them because he only entered the bank, the younger guy, in the 7th robbery, which they got caught for. So 6 of the 7, it was just old man Bennett.
Something went wrong.
Yeah.
Father Time caught up with old man Bennett on that 7th one.
No, he had this idiot join him is what went wrong.
Well, right, but I'm saying if he was the getaway driver on the
Maybe he was
first
sick.
6 that
Yeah.
worked, and then he didn't have to go into the bank till the 7th, probably a snag in the procedure there.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear about these stringer bank robberies, Pat, or were you just more scared of all the drive-by muggings and stuff that you're seeing on the vigilante app?
Hold up, citizen, and there's a report of a man with a knife just under a mile from me.
Nice.
I was
Just
literally the other day.
Within stabbing distance of you.
splashing the air on the
Dude,
corner.
I was literally the CVS around the corner from my house is where I go because it's open 24 hours, right? Like if I'm not going to go to the grocery store, just a quick trip. I'm getting ready to go out the door, and citizen hits me, and it's like report of robbery in progress at CVS. I'm like, I'm gonna rip a heater, and then
Your
go to
CVS?
at the one I was headed en
Yeah.
route to. Yeah,
Oh my god!
Lightning can't strike twice. Let them get all robbed out here, then I'll go.
Lots of useful apps. I mean,
Holy
Pat,
came in handy.
Pat, does that app tell you how far away they are in knife lengths? He's eight.
I mean, how many knife
800
lengths
knife lengths away from
is
you.
0.9 miles? It's close.
Okay.
If he runs the wrong way. Man. Yeah, no, Chicago's dangerous as fuck.
How's the migration center? How's the migration center coming along?
It's great. They're peaceful, bro. There was a dude. They do cut hair on Saturdays using an exposed outlet on my street. So I need a haircut. I'm thinking about popping over.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Getting shaped up.
$10. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know they're gonna do sick, like if you want some like designs in there, like a little bit of like a shave a lightning bolt on the side.
Right, or if I want to get like a Venezuela soccer United team thing shaved into my head.
Yeah, but have you seen the trend of what like Mexican boys' haircuts look like these days? They look like idiots. Have you seen? It's like shaved on the side. Yeah, it's a terrible haircut.
Some examples.
It's called the Hector.
It's called the
These
Hector.
guys are not Mexicans.
Edgar's. Yeah.
Edgar, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Edgar's.
most of the like there's even like there's all these reports about Chinese and Syrians coming over too, but a lot of Venezuelans, like you said, right, Pat?
Yeah, it's mostly South America.
I know. I just say Mexican as the blanket statement. You guys.
We know that you said. We know.
Yeah.
We should get Wes over there to give him an
What would
outside
you say?
pass.
Every
Outside
state
the foot
in
pass.
Central and South America, every country.
No, just the last one they were in.
How many do you know?
Just the one they got to. Yeah.
Let's get Wes over there to pass the ball back at the outside of the foot and really show those kids.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, Wes with an outside of the foot pass inside the immigrant center would just set it off.
Oh, mayhem.
There's just a gasp. The air is sucked out of the building.
I'll be frank.
It's Mio.
I feel more comfortable because I've never been in a place where the at the playground there's no English being spoken and it being a European language being spoken, Ukrainian and Polish. But now I feel way more comfortable because it's mostly Spanish now. I feel better. But boy, do the Ukrainians not like it. Anyway, that's a whole other.
Oh, I bet that's a powder
story.
keg, huh? Yeah,
That's a story for another day on Vigilante. Bennett, by the way, is old school. He used a black face mask, and him and Bernert used wigs and had fake beards, as we kind of saw or talked about, popping over their face, out of their face coverings, the hair, so as not to look like an 83-year-old man robbing banks, because the FBI could have probably, narrowed that down to one after the first of 7 banks they robbed in the past 12 months. Did you say the very confident bank robber was in his 80s? Drops mug. It's the GD Leaping Bandit.
It's impressive. He's the best in his age class by far. Nobody's competing with Bennett.
No, it's a shame he got caught. Bernert fucked it up. Well, you know what else is fucked up? Tax season. It's almost here. And if you're a small business owner like us here at Hard Factor, that means more paperwork and more headaches. Or does it? It sure as shit doesn't if you use our sponsor, Collective. Mm-hmm. Collective is the all-in-one financial solution for self-employed entrepreneurs that lets you focus on your passion, not your paperwork. Let Collective handle all of the back-office work you dread, like business information, compliance, taxes, bookkeeping, accounting, and even payroll. The best part? It's at a fraction of the cost of a CPA. Collective specializes in S-Corps, a tax selection that saves its members an average of $10,000 per year. So if your business of one is making at least $60,000 in profit annually, then you could be missing out on thousands in tax savings every year. The earlier you elect in 2024, the more money you could put back in your pocket. And for a limited time, Collective is waiving the onboarding fee. When you go to collective.com/hardfactor and tell them Hard Factor sent you. That's important. That's $199 value for free when you go to collective.com/hardfactor and tell them Hard Factor sent you. So go to collective.com/hardfactor and tell them Hard Factor sent you.
Save on those taxes. All right. Let's start this next one off with a fun fact, guys. And it's about saving money. So thanks, Mark, for setting it up. Did you know that a retired elderly Australian couple recently spent over 500 days at sea after booking 51 consecutive cruises because it is less expensive than a retirement home?
Heard about this one. It was that meme was all over all the socials, right?
Well, it's all over.
It
all
is
the
a
socials
meme
once a year. A couple they make news out of something like this, I think.
Right. It's because a lot of people do it. It's because a lot of people
Yeah.
do it, Wes. The unnamed great grandparents in Australia have been on board the Princess Cruises 2,000 passenger Coral Princess for over 500 days, longer than the majority of the crew, including the captains, and expect to stay on board the ship for another 2 years. That's just that Australian couple. And it's not just Australians. A quick Google will show you that it's a very common strategy for U.S. retirees to save money as well. So fun fact, going on a cruise ship may be cheaper than going to a retirement home.
That's a lot of fun, especially for the workers on the ship.
Wow. I mean, it's fun
Dude,
for the couple.
Cruises also suck. Also, when you're coming off a cruise, like you usually have gained 10, 15 pounds and you're not shitting right because the food they're serving you. I mean, it would take a lot of discipline to be on that cruise and not be getting, whatever they're passing.
Yeah, you got to take it easy. You got to settle into cruise life if you're going to stay on there for years, So
Sounds cool though.
Yeah, it
I
would be
agree.
a cool way to hang out at the end. It hits iceberg. Oh no, we're 10 seats short. Everyone looks at the.
You're first to go. Yeah, I mean everything. I mean you're kind of like a burden on the ship, to be honest.
That's
You got
what
to
I'm
realize that going in. Yeah.
Slowing down the lines and shit, and like.
What are the
Stop
economics
tipping
of this,
after
Will?
week 2.
Oh, you never tip, bro. Are you kidding me? You're on a fixed income.
Yeah.
You live on the cruise
Yeah,
ship.
well, that's what I'm saying. After week 2, no one can expect a tip from you.
Good point from Tiller. Live comment. Can save on funeral costs too, right? Just right overboard.
Yes, toss them out to sea. That's what I tell them. Hey, if I croak on here, which is probably likely because I'm retiring here, just toss me overboard. I've always
Scatter
wanted to go to
my
the ocean.
ashes/body in the sea.
Right. Put
Yes,
me in
that'd
my
be nice.
favorite button down and throw me over.
So, if you plan on retiring on a cruise ship, I hope that you remember to bring a few supplements with you, okay, for the road, because a new study out of England from the Imperial College of London has found that, quote, participants reported improvements across a range of measures for several weeks after an acute psychedelic experience, okay? We're talking mushrooms here. That's the supplements that could improve your retirement and your sex life. The Centra, because it's British, for psychedelic research, monitored over 300 participants who took either recreational hallucinogens, we're talking acid, DMT, ayahuasca, or shrooms, or they were on medicinal psilocybin for depression. And it didn't matter why the participants took the hallucinogens. The results were always very, very sexy. On average, people reported improvements across a range of areas of sexual function up to 6 months after their psychedelic experience, including their enjoyment of sex, sexual arousal, satisfaction with sex, attraction to partner, their own physical appearance, communication, and their sense of connection. So basically, shrooms or hallucinogens in general, acid, DMT, ayahuasca, psilocybin, it improves your sex life no matter who you are, pretty much for months at a time.
That'll knock you out of a depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll make you a lot happier.
Sounds like
It worked for almost all recreational users, and even about half of the folks who were taking psilocybin for depression, it worked for as well. So even the clinically depressed, they're talking about the best sex ever, after
Sex is too good to be sad.
Now it's interesting because this is not a microdose situation. This is an acute trip. So
macrodose. You got a trip to
they
get the
doped
benefit.
these fools. They doped them up big time. They said, get real freaked out and then come down and then let us know about the banging.
Yep, that's right. And that's how they did it. Over 300 participants. So, it's a pretty decent study. I mean, that's a lot of people, and it worked for almost everybody. And like I said, almost half of the people who were clinically depressed and taking it for depression. Obviously, it's a game changer for stuff like couples therapy. I mean, everybody's going to want to get their hands on this for couples therapy. And probably it's even more important for people whose sex lives are currently hampered by their antidepressants. Prescription SSRIs are reported to cause sexual dysfunction in about 60% of users. So imagine that if everybody who's depressed would be able to get on a different depression medication that doesn't fuck up their sex life.
So I'm saying it's like an oxymoron. Like the depression medicine makes you sadder and worse at sex. That's not really working out. But this new antidepressant medicine in the form of mushrooms. And how do you get in that study? Because you're just giving you free drugs.
You got to be in England for this one. Yeah, but yes.
Oh.
But yeah, you could in the US, you could potentially be in Colorado or Oregon. It's legal under supervision in those two states. Some cities in the US have decriminalized psilocybin, but in general, the DEA keeps busting people in the United States for psilocybin all the time. We covered the kid up in Connecticut that got busted with all those shrooms recently. The DEA wants nothing to do with these magic mushrooms. They keep rejecting rescheduling requests from the medical community for terminally ill patients because they're just total dicks. That seems to be the reason why.
Man, it's so. I mean, like marijuana becoming illegal was like racist. We know what that was. Why mushrooms? I mean, they just grow, man. They just grow out there, and everyone has a better time. And it's not like anyone's. It's such a powerful drug that like no one uses it just straight recreationally. Where it's like I'm worried about this guy driving because he's always popping those mushrooms.
I
Like
think
if you
some
do
people
mushrooms,
do.
you know.
Yeah, some people
do.
definitely still use it.
Some people do.
recreationally.
But some people huff glue. You know,
Yeah, it's the
A lot of people
same
drink
thing.
and drive too. Just don't do that, right?
just don't do that.
Right.
That's right.
You should not. That's why. I mean, they're not requesting even rescheduling down to like 3. They're talking about from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2, the medical community for terminally ill patients, and the DEA can't even handle that. So I mean, hopefully there's some change on the U.S. side. But I mean, internationally, over in England, they're proving that shrooms are great for everybody. Everybody should have the chance to have better sex, be less depressed, and walk through a Walmart while tripping balls and just laughing their ass off. You know,
Look
that's
at that guy.
should be your right as an American. In
What
my opinion.
sci-fi picture was that from?
Oh, it's just a meme about taking
It's
shrooms and going to Walmart.
Yeah, man. You never done that? It's a New York Times bestseller.
That's got to be from like an 80s sci-fi movie. That guy that's ripped, or you know,
Yeah, I don't know what it's based on. I don't know which book that is. It's probably a famous book.
right?
You know, like I said, not impossible to find in the U.S. So you could try Oregon, Colorado. They're available under supervision. So that'll fix up your sex game, which that seems like an easy fix. Kind of crazy that it's so hard to come by if it's like just like amazing for everybody. Seems weird. So if you can get your hands on those, like I said, not impossible, but technically illegal in the U.S. But that'll fix up your sex game. If you want to work on your body to go with that new sex game, check out LaSara.com/HARDFACTOR. That's LASARA.com/HARDFACTOR. LaSara, Men's Health. Go there to get 10% off testosterone therapy. And you can also click on the bit.ly link in our show notes, the URL there, that specific one, to get 10% off weight loss therapy as well. LaSara are real listeners, real fans of the show of Hard Factor, and they're helping us hit our health goals this year. So check them out if you're interested in getting in on the action too. You guys enjoying the weight loss therapy and testosterone therapy? It's making a huge difference for me.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've noticed a big difference with the testosterone, especially. You know, it actually really works. I feel fantastic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot less snappy, more happy. Like they say that when you lose 20 pounds, you gain an inch in your dick because of the belly too. So you can lose weight to gain inches in your dick. Then you can get the testosterone to get all jacked up, and then couple that with mushrooms, Ozempic, and testosterone and mushrooms, and you're going to be a fuck machine.
Your sex
all the
machine,
way in.
Yeah, I only have one purpose.
It also, this study also really like makes it a lot more sense, like why smoking weed right before sex is beneficial.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Makes sense.
Really ties
Checks out.
you know. Yeah. Yep. Checks out.
All right. Who's third? Who's going?
Who's up?
Who's
Thompson.
I mean,
Going?
okay.
Who's going?
All right. Got a.
We're all just thinking about those machines.
Yeah. I brought my testosterone with me. I'm gonna shoot it up in this hotel room tomorrow, like a junkie.
Where are you gonna put your sharp?
Probably just in the trash.
No, you're not.
All right.
Like a true junkie.
It's a La Quinta. It's okay.
Leave it
I might
next to a
flush it.
five. Leave
I
it
think I'm
next to
gonna
a couple.
flush it.
Leave it next to a couple crinkled ones for the maid.
Put it in the La Quinta Sharps box. They got them there.
They have one in every lobby.
Yeah. I got a lot of nightmare story for you guys. The current Powerball prize for tonight's drawing, if you're watching live, is $330 million, which coincidentally is just $10 million shy of the prize that John Cheeks, seen here of Washington, D.C., thought he had won when he purchased a ticket back on January 6th, 2023 for the next day's drawing. And
I mean, that's a
John
porn
went
star
online.
name, bro. John Cheeks. Come
John
on
Cheeks
with
is
John
a great
Cheeks.
name. And look at this. He wears the cool hat. He looks like like an investigator.
Yeah, he's
Right.
He's got he's got a real pimp look to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's
What's that smell? Where's that smell coming from? I'm gonna find out.
man, John Cheeks.
John
Cheeks
Cheeks,
from the-
middle name
from
Getz.
Yeah, clapping cheeks. Is it even the clapping cheeks series?
Yeah, he gets cheeks. And John in the interview said, "Look, I'm not a regular player, but like us in the Discord, patreon.com/HARDFACTOR, when it gets high, we like to join in on the Powerball Mega Millions just when that jackpot gets high, and that's how John plays the lotto too." So he went out.
Wes, the other one on that note, Wes. Sorry, the other one's at like 400 and something million.
Yeah, we usually don't start a pool until like 6.
Right.
Okay.
Because it can go on for a while if you start at like 5.
Okay,
I mean,
fair.
shit, the thing can get to 1.3 billion, and then So anyway,
Okay.
John, I guess John's threshold is 300 million. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play." So he went and got a ticket, and he went online to check his numbers on the DC Lottery website, and boom, his numbers matched the ticket. And he was like, "Holy fuck!" He's like, started thinking about all the great things he would do, leave his family, buy a boat, horse. But he kept
That'll
his
teach
cool,
all those
right?
kids for making fun of my last name in school.
Yes. That's right. He made sure not to let anyone know. He said, quote, "I got a little excited, but I didn't shout. I didn't scream. I just politely called a friend. I took a picture as recommended, and that was it. I went to sleep." He's a psycho. I don't know how the fuck you sleep knowing you have a ticket worth $340 million in your house.
Wes, he stayed up all night thinking about all that stuff, but he's in bed. That was sleeping.
Okay.
I mean,
I would hope
He wasn't
I'd
asleep
go
at
to
a
a
La
hotel.
Quinta. I'll tell you what.
I don't
I was
go to
going to
a
say you
hotel.
don't go to a hotel. You got a La Quinta. If
Oh,
you had
I
a
go to-
lottery ticket right now and you're La Quinta, Wes, you would be losing your shit, bro.
I'm not going to a La Quinta with a lottery ticket. I'm going to like the fucking Driscoll with a lottery.
right. You're going to the nicest hotel. So you're going to start partying immediately, basically, as soon as you get
I
that
just feel
win.
safer. I want a security guard at the door. I want
You feel
cameras.
safer than at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel way safer in a nice hotel than I do in my own house, for sure.
Wes is going to get a heart attack when he wins. We're going to find Wes clutching the winning ticket into his heart.
How's he going to make it to the place to turn it in?
I'm not going to. Anyway, sometime later, he decided, listen, I got to cash this thing in. So he went down to the lotto office with a big smile on his face, knowing he would never see anyone again. But then something horrible happened, right? The clerk at the lottery office told him that his ticket was no good and told him to throw his ticket away. He said, "Hey, this ticket is no good. Just throw it in the trash can." And then Cheeks was like, Cheeks said, I gave him a stern look. I said, "In the trash can?" And the guy said, "Oh yeah, just throw it away. You're not going to get paid. There's a trash can right there." I mean, this guy is the worst. Like, you go in with a lottery ticket you think is worth like cash value of like $170 million. And this guy says, "Sorry, Cheeks, you're mistaken. Throw it in the trash." Yeah.
So this happened. This happened at a convenience store, but the guy, but like that's more understandable. Where the convenience store guy was like, "Nah, you could just rip it up," and he was wrong.
He didn't go to the office.
It ended up working out when he went to the office.
We covered that.
When
story.
he went to the office.
We covered that.
Right?
Story.
Yeah. But
John
Cheeks went to the office.
Cheeks went to the office, and he also didn't heed that guy's advice to throw it away. He kept it and was like, "Fuck that." He went and got a safety deposit box, put it in there, and then he lawyered up and he sued the fuck out of Powerball because he knew.
Now you're worried. Now, if you're Wes, you're really worried that the guy at the office is going to come kill you. Wes is switching hotels.
Dude, I'm losing my mind if I walk in there.
This guy's telling him to throw it in the trash. Wes is like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
He's going so in debt to just try and fight the system.
It's costing Wes a lot of money. Yeah. Full-time
Really
security.
Now again, here's John's numbers. Here's John's numbers, which are a combination of birthdays and sentimental dates. And then here's the numbers that he saw on the DC Lottery website. They matched perfectly. And
whoa!
So
yeah,
he's
pull
like,
that back up, Wes. Let's see the exact
7, 15, 23, 32, 40. Powerball 2.
Okay.
Powerball 2, 7, 15, 23, 32, 40. Right. So
That's it.
boom.
Yeah, he won.
I mean, that's it, right?
Jackpot.
But so he's like, why the fuck is this clerk telling me I didn't win? So he also got a letter from the lottery office saying that petitioner's prize was denied because this ticket did not validate as a winner by the OLG's gaming system as required by OLG regulations. I don't know, online gaming. I don't know what the fuck it means. So anyway, he's like, this is fucked up. He lawyered up and he sued Powerball, and he also sued the Multi-State Lottery Association and Teoti Enterprises, who I guess handles all the lottery tech for Powerball and the DC Lottery. Now listen to this from the Guardian article, what went down. So he went to court. Again, this is back in January of 2023, and they're just getting to the court. It's still not decided yet. But the company's quality
lawyers and shit.
Yeah. So the
lawyer took it on contingency, Mark.
Yeah, retainer.
So the project manager for Teoti Brittany Bailey, said on January 6, 2023, the company's quality assurance team was conducting testing of a task involving a changing of time zones for the Powerball website from coordinated universal time of Eastern Standard Time. At 12:09 that day, the Teoti quality assurance team accidentally posted test Powerball numbers on the game's live website rather than a development environment, which mimicked the site but was not viewable to the public, according to Bailey. So they were doing live testing on the website. They posted numbers that looked like they were the actual numbers, and they left them up for fucking 3 days. Okay, so the test numbers,
they owe Cheeks some money.
Yeah, so they finally realized their mistake, took them down. But this is after Cheeks had thought he won the lottery. Anyone who thought they had 5 numbers matching thought they won the money. So
they owe
now
at least like 1 million, right? Like just dude, for the fucking all the shit he's going through, because it's their fault. They put up the bad numbers.
Yeah, they didn't realize until the 8th, or the 9th, they took down the numbers, and so now they're trying to figure out what penalty, if anything, is going to happen. Luckily, there's a kind of a precedent in this situation. So last November, the Iowa lottery posted the wrong Powerball numbers, citing quote human reporting error. But the Iowa lottery said that the temporary winners, people who had the numbers at issue, could keep their prizes, which range from $400 to $200. I guess because no one won a bunch, they were like, all right, we'll pay you the little $200 that everyone won in Iowa. Blah, blah,
it's not Cheeks' fault. It's a big ticket. I mean,
yeah, but what are they going to do? I mean,
the official results were not what the official results, like the live drawing, was not the same. So I get, I know it's fucked up. I agree. I want Cheeks to get the money too.
His money.
Yeah.
He's gonna investigate it. I mean, like, dude, I gotta put this on the developers of the lottery website. I'm sorry, bro, but like, this is like the only situation I can think of where stakes of publishing in publishing versus a developer environment matter this much. Like this is your one job, Phil.
Well,
like
this reminds me of when Hawaii sent out a nuclear alert to
also bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad too.
It was bad.
You're all gonna die.
So they haven't decided.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything where they just his lawyer's like, look, we get it, you guys fucked up, but how are you going to rectify this? I got Cheeks over here who needs something. I mean, the poor guy needs something. So hopefully he gets at least, like Will said, at least $1 million. I mean, he thought he won 340, but fuck.
Turns out the Japs are playing the long game, Hawaii.
You tell him. You tell Cheeks. I'm not telling him.
Yeah, that sucks. If you're a hacker, you could cause a lot of chaos if you just like kept hacked in the system and kept rotating the numbers every hour.
It's true. Biggest heartbreak I can possibly think of. Bonus dog nightmare. A California dog breeder was mauled to death by pit bulls he was raising from puppies. So he raised them, he nurtured them, and then like pit bulls do, they killed their owner. Sometimes they kill the kids in the house. Sometimes they kill the grandmas in the house. Sometimes they just kill the straight up owner. And that's what happened to this poor guy.
It's a pack. It's tough.
Well, if there's at least 2 of them, I guess. But
yeah, he has to come back to his wife and apologize.
Yeah, it was Compton. His 35-year-old's body was discovered after a concerned friend visited the house. He was like, I wonder if anything happened over there with all those pit bulls. I haven't heard from so-and-so in so long. Wonder if he got eaten by the pit bulls. And sure enough, poor bastard got eaten by the fucking pit bulls. So
eaten by the pit bulls.
I don't know any other dog that turns on their owners as much as these monsters, but whatever.
Better him than the lightly supported children who they would have been playing with when pieces of shit adopted them.
What's Occam's razors? The simplest solution is always the right one.
That is Occam's razor.
You go up to a guy with a pit bull trainer's house, and you're like, "How'd he die?"
Yep.
That's a high risk job. You got to be honest with yourself before you start breeding pit bulls or German shepherds or Dobermans, or Rottweilers. Like, you got to know going in. You better be padded up when you're dealing with
train orcas.
You said gun juggler is the only job left. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, guys, let's talk about a piece of history, a little history lesson. Okay. This is pretty interesting. Newly revealed. Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden's great-great-grandpa, was actually pardoned by the 16th president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Whoa. Crazy. The charges, which were period, right, late 1800s, were actually for the unwanted smelling of a married woman's hair.
Yeah.
Such genetic.
It's very illegal then. I know. No, I'm kidding. It was attempted murder, guys. Okay, I'm gonna get into the story, but it
Really?
doesn't it feel like
Joe
there
Biden's
should be
great grandfather tried to kill somebody.
yeah, 100% attempted murder. He sliced him up. Guys, doesn't it feel like there should be another great in there when it comes to Joe Biden's grandpa? I mean, two greats getting back to Lincoln just seems a little problematic.
What did you say, his dad? Yeah,
leader of America. Anyway, the date was March 21st.
He's only 4 generations or 3 generations removed from Abe Lincoln.
Exactly. It's scary.
Wow.
So the day was March 21st, 1864, full swing of the Civil War, guys, and Potomac's sprawling winter camp. By the way, shout out Washington Post for covering this. Along the Rappahannock River at Beverly Ford, Virginia, the Army was stationed there. It was their winter camp, and a fight broke out between Union Army civilian employees, Moses J. Robinette and John J. Alexander, in the mess tent. And apparently, Biden's great-great-grandpa Moses, who was known around the camp as a jokester, decided to part John J. Alexander's skin to create a red sea of blood because Moses Robinette fights a dirty.
Yeah.
he pulled out a knife, cut him up.
He's such a jokester when he slices you apart.
He's very funny when he does
It was
that.
Corn Pop's great-great-grandfather. They have like a war going back several generations. The Bidens
Dude,
and
it
the
was
Corn
messed.
Pops.
All right, so according to the charges, he kicked back a couple meads before the fight, which is why maybe he was getting so loose-lipped with the lady cook. See, what happened was the I guess brigade wagon master overheard Robinette saying something about him to a lady cook, and he rushed in to the mess hall to demand an explanation, right? But at the trial, people disputed whether he was drunk or the other guy was drunk. But John J. Alexander was so fucked up that Moses Robinette was charged with attempted murder, guys. And he must have been seriously fucked up because Joe Biden's great-great-grandfather getting charged with attempted murder during the motherfucking Civil War means that guy was cut. Here's an example of what was in a surgical kit during the Civil War. That's just a hacksaw.
Yeah,
That's just a hacksaw.
Torture kit.
choppy right there.
Woof. Why didn't you just throw the other side's uniform on him? Since everyone was killing each other. Like,
Good call. Well, he did.
Yeah.
It was
He turned on us.
This is mother's side grandfather, great-great-grandfather.
paternal side. No, it could have been because Robinette was hired as a veterinary surgeon in the Army, right? So like could be like a Mike Tyson thing, like your hands are deadly weapons, but it was with a pocket knife. He cut this guy up real bad, and he was charged with attempted murder, and he was sent to a remote island near Florida to serve his time, which honestly makes me want to almost kill a guy and get caught. I'm talking about
we used to send all the criminals to Florida and they just like procreated. Is that what happened?
No, this was
Georgia
Like an
was
Australia situation.
Georgia was Australia, yeah.
Dry Tortuga Island, which is right near Key West. You can see it.
Oh
behind me.
yeah.
At the time, about 700 inmates were there. People who were opponents of Lincoln, who I guess you attack your political opponent any way you can, said that Lincoln was sending our men to the Siberia of America, which was anything but, guys. This is the fucking Florida Keys. Come on.
It looks beautiful. It's right behind you on your screen there. I mean, I want to go to that prison if I was going to have to go to prison.
Escape Dry Tortuga, send Pliskin in a time machine back to the Civil War era. He's got to do something for the government in Dry Tortuga.
That's sick, bro. I love that. I love it. It's like the Castle meets Escape from LA or New York. It's fantastic.
Get Sean Connery in there, do something like The Rock style too.
Oh, that'd be sick, man. I guess when Robinette got down there, 3 Army officers knew him, and they petitioned the governor of Western Virginia at the time, and then that went to Lincoln, and Lincoln was like, "Get this man out of here." So he did a month, but look, it was a 2-year sentence of hard labor at a Key West resort. Let's be honest. He did a month of it, went back home, and served his time out with his family in Maryland, raising whoever became Joe Biden's grandpa.
Wow.
Where did the name change come?
That's hilarious.
By Robinette Biden? I don't know. That's a good call.
Oh, I thought he said Alexander.
So this was Moses Robinette, right? And Joe Biden's middle name is Robinette. They said it was paternal lineage. I don't know where it changed.
Usually what happens is when you have a murderer in your family, you try to
Well,
distance yourself.
remember the Times uncovered there was some real shadiness in the Biden's
Trump.
history, maybe like 2 generations ago. I forget what it was. I'll have to read up on it.
2 generations ago, I'm sure.
Something weird happened with the name. Anyway, there you go. That's the show. Get out there. Have a great fucking day.